Holy moly. This is a late recap video because I was waiting for the Packers Cowboys game to end, and did it end? What is up, football fans? If you're new to the channel, I am a Miami Dolphins YouTuber. Hold on a second. Watch this. Kaplow. And normally when the Dolphins will play on Sunday, which is going to be a few times this year, I recap the week or the day, the Sunday of football. So the Dolphins did not play today. They play tomorrow at 7:15. So I'm recapping today's games, which a bunch of them were bananas in pajamas. So we're going to get into that real quick. But first, I have to shout out two sponsors. First and foremost, got to shout out my guy, Sean Seipler, and Clean the World. If you don't know about Clean the World, click the link in the description or go to cleantheworld.org. He does some fantastic things for people of need, whether it's third world countries, natural disasters, the homeless. He takes plastic that is wasted in hotels. He takes soaps that are wasted in hotels. He cleans them, repurposes them, and gets them to people that need it. He also has a fantastic foundation called the Wash Foundation that gets clean drinking water, shower stations, and even wells to people that need it. He recently, I think it was like over the summer, got a well built in a third world country. Like, he's doing amazing things. Go check him out. Support if you can. And obviously, you see in my little corner over here, got to shout out Sleeper. Go check them out. Click the link in the description. You get 100% up to $100. Great fantasy app that I use constantly on this channel. So again, if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button because you'll get to see it. So let's jump into the recaps because holy moly were the games nuts. Now, we could do Thursday because the Dolphins didn't play Thursday. This game was a back and forth, as you could see by the chart here, and it kind of went down. At no point really were the Cardinals in, I'd say here, but then it just took off. Crazy game. Came down to the wire. I didn't think it would come down to the wire. As you can see the score here, by the time we got into the fourth quarter, it was 17-6. I didn't think it would get that close. But, hey, Arizona came back, fought hard. Marvin Harrison finally actually catching the ball instead of turning the ball over. Kyler Murray running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I don't necessarily, those two interceptions I ain't going to put on Kyler. I will put on Marvin Harrison. Outside of that, it was a good defensive game by Seattle. They came out and pulled out the W. Now let's get into the Sunday games. This one was in Dublin, Ireland. And you could see here, again, at some point, it was like, oh, Vikings up by 3. Wait. It shouldn't have been this close. Again, as you can see by Pittsburgh's score, it shouldn't have been that close. At one point going into the fourth quarter, it was 21-6. And then Minnesota scores 15 points. Carson Wentz 30 for 46. It's the two interceptions here that really killed them. He had a fantastic game last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. Does that just say how bad the Cincinnati Bengals are? Because the Steelers came out and they did fantastic. Kenneth Gainwell, 99 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns against the Brian Flores defense is kind of crazy to me if you're asking, and I hope you are. 2 sacks by Minnesota. 6 sacks by Minnesota. Again, no, I was right the first time. 2 sacks by Minnesota. Not something you see out of that Brian Flores defense, but you got 6 sacks by the I almost said Jets. By the Steelers. Patrick Queen gets a sack. TJ Watt gets a sack. Nick Herbig, a sack and a half. Benton, sack and a half. Like, just, again, got close to the end. I don't know if it's because the Steelers took their foot off the gas a little bit, but this was a very interesting game there, but not some of the most interesting of this day. Then we get to this one, which ended up being very interesting. Again, as you see, Michael Penix kind of had a bounce back game. Now, he still threw the interception, but he 20 for 36, 313 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a good passer rating. Marcus Mariota, again, not bad, but again, you throw in that interception, it's not great. They didn't have much of a rushing game, Washington. Same could be said kind of with Atlanta. You still had Bijan Robinson, 17 carries, 75 yards and a touchdown. And you had Algier, 16 carries, 51 yards and a touchdown. So, kind of put them together, you get around 125 rushing yards. It was the receivers, Drake London, and then Bijan Robinson with 106 receiving yards on 4 catches, a long of 69. Kyle Pitts getting a touchdown finally for those fantasy owners. Good bounce back game from Atlanta, who got spanked by the Carolina Panthers, and not a great bounce back from the Commanders, who won their game last week. Again, Marcus Mariota was doing fantastic. Not great. They only got 1 sack on the day. Frankie got it. He only got 2 sacks on the opposing on the Falcons, though. So kind of a sloppy game by both. But again, look at the scores. Bing bonk, bing bonk. Really good for Michael Penix and the Atlanta Falcons, kind of bringing them back in. Then we have this game. I think I told you guys in my pick'ems, I do every Wednesday. Go again, subscribe. At no point the Saints above. It got to a point here where they're only down 5. And again, Buffalo, for some reason, likes to keep it close. Down 5. Even at some point here, it was 14-10. Like, they love keeping it close for some reason. I think the spread was like 12.5. Was it 12.5? I think you still win at 12.5. If I'm correct. No, you lose at 12.5 because the half would have lost it for you. If you took the Buffalo Bills. But what is Buffalo doing allowing these teams to be so close in there? Again, like, why are you throwing an interception, Josh Allen? 16 for 22, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen also had a rushing. 117 rushing yards from James Cook. Shear and Kincaid with the receiving touchdowns. No fumbles. The interception was to Sanker. Cole Bishop also gets an interception because, Chris Olave attempted a pass. Spencer Rattler, 18 for 27, 126, 1 touchdown. No interceptions, though, so he didn't turn the ball over. But again, not much offense. Kamara, 70 carries. He's a definite trade candidate. Miller, 65 in that touchdown. 3 sacks, pretty good, especially you're going up against Josh Allen. Bills get 3 sacks as well. But again, it shouldn't even have been this close. Like, we've seen the Saints' other games, 44-13. Like, this is the score that the Bills should have done. But you have like the 49ers, they're within 5. You have the Cardinals, they're within 7. Like, Saints are keeping within points. So watch out for the Saints. They're doing something. They might sneak up and bite someone in the butt before they know it. Detroit, Cleveland. I don't know if there's much to really talk about with this one. Detroit did their thing, came out, put a little smackdown on the Cleveland Browns. 16 for 34 for Joe Flacco, threw 2 interceptions. Bad game from Joe Flacco. Jared Goff threw 1 interception, but he did throw 2 touchdowns. Didn't throw for many yards, though. It all came from Jamari Gibbs, because, of course, David Montgomery, I started him in fantasies, my fantasy running back, and they just didn't give it to him. 9 carries, 12 yards. Cool. Thanks. Appreciate you, Montgomery. Jeez Louise, you're killing me here. Amon St. Brown, who I had to face in fantasy, of course, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. And on the flip-flop and the flim-flam, they didn't do much receiving. Again, no receiving touchdowns. And they had 1 scoring touchdown from Quinshon Judkins, the rookie. He had 82 rushing yards. Fantastic for him. Defensive-wise, no sacks. Pause on that. 2 from Aiden Hutchins, and Alex Anzalano had a sack. And then 2 interceptions, DJ Reed and Kirby Joseph, and 1 interception from Denzel Ward. But again, you kind of expected this outcome of this game. This game, I kind of thought, and I'm being honest, you can go back and watch my picks. I thought the Panthers would. I picked the Patriots. Don't get me wrong. I picked the Patriots, but I thought the Panthers would have put up a better fight because of what they did to the Atlanta Falcons last week. But apparently, the saying is true that division rivals play different because, nope. Drake May, 14 for 17, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had a fantastic day. He also had a rushing touchdown. Fantastic day. You know what? Antonio Gibson, you're going to get a rushing touchdown. Fantastic day. Trayvon Henderson, you know what? You're going to get a rushing touchdown. Fantastic day. Hunter Henry, you're getting a touchdown. Matt Collins, former Dolphin, former Bill, former Raider, you're getting a touchdown. On the flip side, they put up points. You know, you had 2 touchdowns here. Andy Dalton went in at some point, which is crazy. And, you know, Tommy Treble receiving touchdown. Mitchell Evans receiving touchdown. Outside of that, they didn't do much. They had 1 sack on the day. But again, New England's defense only had 1 sack on the day from Chason. I'm assuming they missed an extra point. Looking. Yeah, missed an extra point. 42-13. I thought they would have put a bigger fight up. Now, I did obviously pick New England. New England's now sitting at 2-2. They're in a good situation. We will look at that again. I normally look at the divisions and how they go. This one, though, you saw the thumbnail. I put Jackson Dart dead center in that thumbnail. Now, I have a bone to pick with some people. They don't know who they are because I don't know if they watch this video. But I was told, I was like, ooh, Jackson Dart is starting. Kind of saw this coming. Again, I predicted Jackson Dart would start at some point, and a lot of people were like, why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. And then Jackson Dart got the start. God, that's going to mess me up. And a lot of people were like, why would you have him start against the Chargers defense? And they made the Chargers defense be out to be this juggernaut. They're going to destroy the Giants. And Jackson Dart is going to have no shot. Now, I'm not saying that the Chargers defense didn't do well, and we'll get into that in a second because, you know, a lot of certain situations, you know, with interceptions and stuff, put the Giants in good situation to score quickly. But to sit here and say, oh, they're the best. They didn't play that well. Now, you look at Justin Herbert. He had a bad game. 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He had a horrible game. After coming last week, he had a bad game until that last second touchdown where he was fantastic. Hampton, fantastic game from him. 128 yards, 1 touchdown. Beautiful for him. Quentin Johnston, receiving touchdown, 98 yards. Great for him. 6 sacks on the day. 4 from, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that man's name. Derwin James Jr. gets a sack. Justin, again, not even gonna try to. And Caleb Murphy gets half a sack. They got 6 sacks on the day. Brian Burns gets a sack for the Giants. Yes, I can pronounce Kayvon Thibodeau because I've practiced saying his name. Yes, you look at this and you're like, how'd you get Thibodeau from it? I know how to say his name. But you got 2, and Dexter Lawrence gets an interception, which is crazy. Obviously, it had to have been a tip pass or something. But the Chargers lost to the Giants, and the Giants kind of put that blueprint out there for how to beat the Chargers and how to beat that defense. Because Cam Scatabo, I don't know why I can't talk right now, 79 rushing. He was running hard. Jackson Dart, 10 carries for 54 yards, and he gets a touchdown. Theo Johnson with the touchdown. Unfortunately, Malik Neighbors hurt his knee, and from what I'm hearing, he's out for the year. So, yes, I understand that the Chargers were down 2 tackles, but also the Giants were down their starting star receiver, and they still were able to put up 21 points and beat the Chargers. So good for Jackson Dart on that first start. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll say it again. Chargers definitely had their defense played well, but they didn't play at the amplitude that I was told that they're going to play at. So there's that. Then we have this game, which is another fantastic game. 2 good teams. This might be your NFC Championship game in the future. Jalen Hurts, 15 for 24, 130, 2 touchdowns. He was my fantasy quarterback, so I was happy about that. I wish he got a rushing touchdown. Saquon, 19 for 43. You know how they got the touchdown? They faked the tush push. He's throwing a wrinkle in there. Goddard, 4 carries, 4 catches, 37 yards, 2 touchdowns. Huge stat, especially fantasy-wise. Jalen Hurts had a fumble for loss, but they got the ball. Not loss, sorry. Got a fumble, got it back. Defensive-wise, only 2 sacks. Only 2 sacks. You look on the flip side, Baker Mayfield, 20 for 40, 289, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, though. Bucky Irving was their leading carrier and rusher with 63 yards. Bucky Irving, also 5 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. He's on my bench. I will say this, and this is the last time I'm doing this, because I have some receivers that I'm like having a hard time deciding. Like I have Jamar Chase. I have a hard time deciding, like, ooh, I need to put him in from now on. He's going to suck, though. So if you're a fantasy owner, you have him. He's probably going to suck now that I'm going to start him. 101 yards, 1 touchdown. Do you know who I have? Him, A.J. Brown. I've put A.J. Brown in over him thinking, come on, A.J. He's doing nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded at the trade deadline. I'm putting him in from now on. But it was a hard-fought game. Came down to it, 5 points for Tampa, which is craziness to see. But just couldn't pull it out. Couldn't pull it out at the end. But like I said, I could expect that to be an NFC championship game. Then you have the Houston Texans, who the Cam Ward came out and had something to say. I can't even repeat it because I keep my channel PG. 10 for 26, 108 yards, he had 1 interception. He had a horrible day. 14 carries from Tony Pollard, 64 yards. Yeah, it was nothing. Their offense did nothing. They had 2 sacks. It was just nothing. On the flip side, again, he's on the thumbnail. 22 for 28, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. Fantastic game from C.J. Stroud. Woody Marks, 69 carries and a touchdown. Nick Chubb, 13 carries, 47 yards. Leading receiver, Nico Collins. You had your touchdowns from Woody Marks and Jaden Higgins. And 2 sacks on the day. Both came from Danielle Hunter. And then Derek Stingley Jr. with the interception. It was just the Titans are just at the very beginning of this rebuild. So you can't really expect much from the Tennessee Titans as of right now. Then you have Indy getting their first loss of the year. No offense to Indy fans, but I did predict this. I said that this was going to be their first loss of the year. Daniel Jones did not have a good game. This is where he fell back down to earth. 24 for 33, 262, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He did not have a good game. Rushing wise, you had Jonathan Taylor, 76 yards, but your touchdown came from Tyler Warren on probably an end around. Your only touchdown came from Michael Pittman Jr. Your leading receiver, though, was Mitchell. You had a fumble from Mitchell as well that was lost. You had 3 sacks on the day. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. He had a half a sack. Latu with a sack, and Mekhi Blackman with a sack. And then you look on the other side. Matthew Stafford, 29 for 41, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 great rating. Kyren Williams, 13 carries, 77 yards. Puka Nacua. He is my other receiver. So I have Puka Nacua, I have Jamar Chase, and I have A.J. Brown. We're my 3 receivers. I know. I'm in 10-person league. And I have the Bucs receivers sitting on the bench because those are my 3 receivers. Well, A.J. Brown, your butt is hitting the bench. But Puka Nacua, 13 catches, 170 yards and a touchdown. Tutu Atwell, 88 yards on 1 catch and a touchdown. Devontae Adams gets a touchdown. Kyren Williams had a fumble loss. 2 sacks on the day, 1 from Jared Verse and 1 from Byron Young. It was a close game, but at the end, again, I think that the Rams were the better team. And I expected at some point the Colts were going to catch up, or someone's going to catch up to the Colts. This one, very interesting. So my daughter, who is 4, turning 5 in December, doesn't have a football team, right? I buy her Dolphin stuff. She wears it. She likes to watch me get excited for the Dolphins. You know, it is what it is. But I showed her an image of all the NFL logos. And I said, pick a team. And she loves cheetahs. She thinks they're super fast, and she loves them. She loves the Wildcats. If you know about the Wildcats, you know. Obviously, the NFL doesn't have cheetahs, but they have Jaguars, and the Jaguar kind of looks like a cheetah. So she was like, I like the Jaguars. I was like, go get it, girl. So I told her, hey, your team won today. She was like, yay. I honestly doesn't give a crap. Trevor Lawrence, 21 for 31, 174, 1 touchdown. Not a bad day from him. Travis Etienne, 19 carries, 124 yards and a touchdown. A very good day from him. Hunter Long with a touchdown for the Jaguars. Yes, that Hunter Long that was on the Miami Dolphins. Travis Hunter fumbled, but they got the ball back on that one. Sacks, there was only 1 sack on the day, and that was from Eric Armstead. You look on the flip side, funny, he's facing his own old team. Brock Purdy did not have a good day. 22 for 38, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not great. Christian McCaffrey, 17 carries, 49 yards. Not great. Christian McCaffrey, though, had 6 carries, 6 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown. And Jake Tongs, I'm assuming that's how you say his name, 3 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. But at the end of the day, it seems like these is what killed you. Luke Farrell had a fumble lost. Brock Purdy, strip sack, I'm assuming here. No sacks, no pressure. Bosa not being out there might be hurting them a little bit. And the Jacksonville Jaguars make the win. Now, you could say it's an upset, but it was the 3-0 team facing a 2-1 team. And again, we will talk about that division because that division just got real interesting with the Indianapolis Colts losing. Then you have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And Baltimore, what is going on? At some point, they put Cooper Rush in the game. I think Lamar had a hammy injury. 14 for 20, 147, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The interception was a beautiful one by the linebacker of the Kansas City Chiefs. Derrick Henry, 8 carries for 42 yards. There, Justice Hill, 3 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. Derrick Henry was like kind of non-existent. Justice Hill also had a receiving touchdown. So if you had Justice Hill as a fantasy guy, you had a ton of points. Zay Flowers, 7 catches for 74 yards. Lamar Jackson did have a fumble loss. It's probably when he hurt his hammy. Tavius Robinson, only sack on the day. Not great. Not great. The interception. Yes. Leo Chanel. Go back. The year he got drafted, go back and listen to me talk about how I want the Dolphins to draft Leo Chanel. You know who we drafted anyway? Channing Tindall. Yeah. But Patrick Mahomes came back. He had a better game than he's had the past 3 weeks. 25 for 37, 270 yards, 4 touchdowns. Beautiful game for him. No rushing touchdowns. Nothing really crazy on the rushing side. Receiving, Xavier Worthy was the leading yards, but your touchdown went to Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Isaiah Pacheco, as well as Taquan Thornton. And then Drew Tranquil was the one who scooped up the fumble. 3 sacks on the day. 1 from Karlaftis. I don't know why I'm getting these names out. Jerry Tillery and... Am I missing something? I'm only seeing 2, but they're saying 3 sacks. But I'm only seeing 1, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Right? Am I missing something? But if the Dolphins win tonight, they'll have the same record as the Baltimore Ravens, and that's crazy for me to say. Ravens 1-3. We will talk about that division. Then we have the Chicago Bears taking on the LA Raiders. Look at the up and down with this mamma jam. Like, holy guacamole. Came down to a blocked field goal. Caleb Williams, 22 for 37, 212, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not great. DeAndre Swift, 14 carries, 38 yards, and a touchdown. Rome Odunze, 4 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. 2 fumbles, but they both came back from Caleb Williams. Need to do better on that ball security. 0 sacks on the day. Kevin Byard had 2 interceptions, and Tyreek Stevenson had an interception as well. Geno Smith, if we're talking about bad here, not great here. 14 for 21, 117, 2 touchdowns. That's not good. Ashton Genty, though, 21 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown. Fantastic day from him. Brock Bowers, 5 catches, 46 yards, no touchdowns. Ashton Genty had... Man, if you had Ashton Genty in fantasy today, holy moly, you had 3 touchdowns and 155 all-purpose yards? That's pretty good. But Ashton Genty did fumble the ball. Needs to do better there. 1 sack on the day, and it came from Jonah Lalu. Yes. This was also a very good game. Again, it came down to the Raiders trying to kick the field goal. It got blocked, and they won. Crazy game as well. And then we have the game that the reason that this video is coming out around 1 o'clock is a tie. The Green Bay Packers tie with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this game was a back and a forth and a back and a forth and a back and a forth. As you can see by the win probability graph, it was like, 13-2, then down, up, and then down, up, and then down, up, down, up, down. Craziness, absolute craziness. Jordan Love, 31 for 43, 337, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Josh Jacobs, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. You had 3 touchdowns from Romeo Doubs. He had a fantastic day. Jordan Love did lose a fumble, though. Only 1 sack on the day. Michael Parsons, and overtime, does get a sack on his old quarterback, which is fun to see, I guess. Dak Prescott, though, 31 for 40, 319, 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, 20 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. George Pickens with 2 touchdowns. Jake Ferguson with a touchdown. And only 1 sack on the day from James Houston. About this game, let me give you my 2 cents really quick about this game. The end of regulation kind of perplexed me. Right? The Packers had 3 timeouts. They get into field goal range. They run the ball 3 times and then just kick the field goal to go into overtime. They still had 2 timeouts at some point. I thought they might try something, you know? They were throwing all over the Dallas Cowboys. At one point, 2 receivers were open in the same area. Like, I don't understand why they got so conservative. And then in overtime, it's like they got down in a field goal range and kind of things got out of hand for them. And then they got lucky. They had a second left to kick the field goal to tie. Absolutely craziness, like just nuts that it came down to, all right, 1 second left. Let's just kick the field goal, just not have a loss in the column. We'll just have a tie. Very weird, very, very strange to me. But let's look at the standings. Now, 4 teams still have to play today. The Miami Dolphins against the New York Jets. But you got a 2-2 team here and a 4-0 team. The North, very interesting. Again, the Cincinnati Bengals will be playing the Denver Broncos also later tonight, because it'll be 1 o'clock when you guys see this. But the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting at 3-1. And look at this. The Ravens and the Browns with the same record. This is where it's interesting. Indy, Jacksonville, both sitting at 3-1. You have the Los Angeles Chargers, who are feeling super comfortable, super cocky, super feeling their britches, 3-0, and you have an 0-2 or a 1-2 at the time. Chargers, Chiefs, they're a game behind. You beat them, which is big, but they're only a game behind you. Then you look at that East. Philadelphia running away with that 3-0. You look at the North here, that tie again, keeping them in contention there. The South, NFC South, Matt, it kind of looks like the AFC East, if I'm being honest with you. Looking at the NFC South, but look at the NFC West. Like, holy moly, with the San Francisco 49ers losing, look at that logjam for the number 1. And even the Cardinals losing, still only half a game out. I know, it's super soon, and it's dumb to do this. But you look at the playoffs now. Look at the Dolphins down here. Woof. If the season ended today, your playoffs teams would be Buffalo 1, Pittsburgh 2, Chargers 3, Indy 4. Then your 3 wild cards will be the Jags, the Bengals, and the Chiefs. But again, some teams still have to play. Then you look at the other side, your wild card teams would be Seattle, Rams, and Packers, and it would be Philly, 49ers, Detroit, Tampa. But again, it's week 4. We will obviously get more to that. And then let's look at the Tankathon. Hold on. Let's look at the Tankathon real quick. League. And we'll do it this way. As of right now, it seems like, again, these 2 teams are playing each other. Whoever loses might be on the track for, well, obviously you have the Saints here, but whoever loses might be on the number 1 track for the number 1 pick, because the Dolphins have an easier schedule than the Saints. Is that what that means? Or harder? I don't know. But it's going to get interesting. Going to get very interesting. But again, if you like this when the Dolphins still play and I recap this Sunday, give it a like. The more views, the more likes it gets, it tells me, hey, they like it. I'm going to keep doing it. But I will see you tomorrow or later today, depending on when you watch it, 7:15 here live to watch the Dolphins take on the Jets. They better get the W for Mike McDaniel's job. I'll talk more about that during the live stream. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.